Hey guys, and welcome back to the ASX Investor channel. Weebit Nano has officially come out with the announcement surrounding its first commercial agreement with Skywater Technology. There's been a lot of discussion and speculation over the past week about what this could mean for the ASX WBT story, and in today's video we're going to unpack the agreement. We'll talk about the specifics, and then we'll explore what the roadmap up ahead for both Weebit as well as Skywater could be moving forward on the back of this landmark deal. It's an exciting time. We'd love to know your thoughts, so drop in a comment below what you think about Weebit and this agreement and what you think it means for the WBT story moving forward. If you do enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it out, and if you're new around here, we make daily videos, so if you haven't yet, make sure you've subscribed and turn your bell notifications on as well. A reminder that I'm not a financial advisor and nothing we talk about on the channel is financial advice. These videos are just here as a general discussion to be that starting spot for you to do your own research from. And with that, we come to the agreement. We know that investors were eagerly awaiting the first commercial agreement from Weebit. We know that in the disruptive technology space, of course, the first agreement is the most difficult because you need to find a company or an organization that's willing to partner with you, to work with you, to take that chance, and to be that first initial adopter. Once that's been validated and the technology's been proven that, yes, there's a big company who's willing to take that step, then the second, the third, and the consequent agreements flow through from that one. This is a significant agreement, not only because of what it means, but also with the organization who it's been developed with. We know that Skywater Technology is the only US-based and owned pure-play foundry over in the United States. If you are wondering a bit more about who Skywater is and the position they play in the space, we've done a video into Skywater recently over the past week, which you can check out after this one. As we've talked about on the channel previously before, Weebit initially are going after the embedded memory market before in coming years potentially being able to pursue the discrete and standalone market. This deal is for Skywater to have the ability to license Weebit's ReRam memory technology to be able to offer this on to their customers. Skywater do have aspirations to become a leading global player in the semiconductor fabrication space, and of course this could be a technology that helps them stand out with a point of difference that they can offer onto their customers. And so having a look at the specifics of the agreement, Weebit and Skywater will immediately start to work together on the technology transfer. We know that this is a long process, it's not simple, it's definitely something that's going to take a period of time, and they're aiming to commence volume production by the end of 2022. We'll talk about what the technology transfer and the qualification process means later on in the video. Weebit will participate in the cost of this transfer, though they don't expect the cost to be material, and they have provided for this within existing cash flow. It is worth noting that Weebit did raise capital previously twice over the past couple of years, and so they're well funded to move forward into this next stage of commercialization. And so under the specifics of the agreement, the first geometry that they'll be pursuing is the 130 nanometer space. We know, of course, there's a big focus and excitement in the semiconductor space about trying to work down and have that race to the bottom to the smallest possible geometries. Over Weebit have stated that they believe that this is a bit of a sweet spot. There's significant demand across a range of different potential use cases, from sensors to Internet of Things technology. So they believe this is the right entry point. And obviously over time, they can use this to continue to scale up the offerings that they can provide along different geometries if this initial one is successful. Interestingly, this agreement is for a minimum term of 6 years with 12-month renewals after the 7th year. And I think a really significant factor of this is that both Skywater and Weebit have committed into this agreement. They're not being hands-off and light touch here. They want to focus on really working on this agreement together, co-developing materials, working together to commercialize this, really leveraging the benefits that both sides can bring to customers moving forward. This is a significant opportunity, and of course it's validation of the technology, and it's also going to make other players in the space sit up, whether it's customers who want that leg up and the potential competitive advantage that Weebit's ReRam technology could bring to their products, or other fabs who are now potentially interested after seeing this validation from Skywater themselves. And so then I guess the question is, what happens next? Of course, initially, as discussed, it's significant validation for the technology. The agreement significantly is a non-exclusive deal, which ensures that further discussions can continue for Weebit Nano, as well as with other fabs, of course, with a range of different customers. Within the agreement, they've talked about the opportunity that they will have to refer customers. Weebit obviously gets access to potential customers from Skywater, and they can offer that ReRam technology. But Weebit can also talk about potential customers who they're speaking about embedding the technology and referring those customers onto Skywater as a potential production facility for them. Of course, this qualification process and the technology transfer is going to be in this immediate short to medium term over the next year and a half. And then Weebit will be working with Skywater to co-develop this offering. There's of course those customer referrals, technology development, which I think is important because Skywater is not only that front-facing focus with manufacturing and production of the wafering services, but they're also focused on the back end as well with their technology as a service offering and thinking about how they can help their customers with R&D and innovation. And this is where something like Weebit's ReRam could be really fascinating too. And then of course joint marketing, which both companies have committed to moving forward. And so just building on that discussion surrounding the technology transfer and the qualification process. This is a significant factor, and many customers are looking for their technologies to have been qualified first before signing agreements. So it's going to be another significant milestone once it's achieved. And of course, it means that eventually Weebit will be able to move towards volume manufacturing with Skywater. Yesterday, Weebit's team provided a webinar exploring the deal and what it meant. They explored this process in a bit of detail. And so to summarize that, the first step is transferring the recipe. The most important factor is ensuring alignment with Skywater's ovens and infrastructure. Of course, all of the foundries around the world will be using different types of technologies, and so it's ensuring that alignment works. And then you assess the initial modules produced. Once you've assessed those initial ones, you want to be able to start preparing for mass production. And the way you do this is ensuring there's consistency and repeatability with the productions of the wafers. Of course, you don't want any variance on the wafers that are produced. You want to make sure that everything that's developed is consistent and it can be repeated at scale. And then finally, once that has been achieved over a long period of time, then mass production can be underway. And of course, the technologies can be offered to customers. This is a long and stringent process. It's not like you're developing a simple, repeatable type of product like a table or a chair. We know that the semiconductor space is highly complex. It's very intricate as well. And so there's long lead times on this. However, once successful, it definitely paints a fascinating roadmap moving forward. And so then the question is, what's the roadmap from here? In one of our recent videos where we talked about Skywater Technology, we talked about the semiconductor space. It's worth noting that it's not often an integrated supply chain from one company. There's many different players that make up the different components within the supply chain. Of course, you have the fabless designers, the companies who own the IP and the technology themselves. And then you have the foundries or the fabs, of which Skywater Technology is one. And they help with the production, the manufacturing, the wafering services. And then of course, the companies who actually have the products themselves, and they will be commercializing and selling those products on. It's interesting because a company like Weebit Nano is able to make commercial agreements on two different dimensions. They can make agreements with fabs. Of course, this is a formative agreement that they've made with Skywater. It's a non-exclusive discussion, so they can continue talking to or considering other opportunities as well. But then you can also have commercial agreements with individual customers as well to embed your technology in with those customers' products and hopefully give them a step up compared to the other companies in their space. We know that the initial agreement, as we discussed, is the hardest, but now there is that validation of technology that a big name is really interested in it. It'll be fascinating to see where it plays from here. We know that previously the Weebit team had spoken about making this first initial agreement with a tier 2 player. People might have been wondering why. I think it's a fascinating thing to reflect on. I know many of you may have heard the quote that if you want to be number one, work like you're number two. And we know that companies that are trying to get to that top level are going to be working very hard. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be aggressive in their growth. And they're often looking for opportunities and advantages and competitive advantages that they can offer to their customers. And Skywater is hoping that Weebit's ReRam can be this, but also that ability to co-develop and co-design the offering moving forward is one that's very, very compelling for the Weebit story. It's early stage, there's still a long pathway ahead of it, but this is one significant step for a company like Weebit Nano. It goes some way to de-risking the technology. It goes some way as well to giving an insight about what the future could look like for the company. We know that the aspirational goal is eventually for ReRam to potentially replace flash memory. We know that as compute gets more and more demanding and arduous, as technologies get more and more complex, as well as Internet of Things technology rolls out, cloud computing and AI continues to proliferate through all of the day-to-day activities that we do, there is going to need to be new next generation memory technologies to service and facilitate this digital adoption. Weebit's hoping that their ReRam technology can be one of those solutions to really help to facilitate this, and it will be fascinating to see where we head from here. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it out as well. This past period, we've interviewed a range of different ASX CEOs on the channel as well, so we'll leave links to those up above that you can check out after this one. We're the ASX Investor channel and we make daily videos talking about the stock market investing, and we find and analyse the best growth stocks. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and make sure you've got your bell notifications turned on as well, so you won't miss any of our daily episodes, and we'd love to have you join the community. Let us know what you thought about this big past week from Weebit Nano. It'll be interesting to see where the ASX WBT story heads from here. Thank you so much for joining us. For now, stay well and happy investing.